Hi folks. So last week we touched on vision in our discussions around how to deploy a technology plan and a program in a school. This week we're going to touch on culture. So this is just a follow-on, and we're continuing through this journey to go through the key elements of what makes a technology plan successful. Before we get into it today, I do want to say if you do have feedback, whether it's something that you need more information on, criticisms, alternate opinions, so on, please feel free to pass it on to comments. And if there is anything here that you feel that you need help expanding on, please do reach out. So to get right into it, essentially culture is the next stage of our journey when we're designing a technology plan, and culture is relevant across your whole organization, not just in technology, but at the end of the day it does change from organization to organization, and this is something that really only you and your team and your people are going to know about. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to culture in technology, just as in an organization as a whole. So your culture is something we need to consider, and you need to consider, and that may be a culture of resistance to technology, and that's pretty common, particularly if you've had a poor technology plan in the school or a cohort of people that struggle with it and are potentially embarrassed that they can't operate with it or feel unsupported in their deployment. So culture is super important to consider. There are lots and lots of factors, and as usual we need to consider all those stakeholders when we're making these decisions. We can change that culture obviously, and that's part of the program, and that's part of taking the time to do things correctly. So we really do need to consider it. It definitely does need to be fundamental in our decision making and our plan. And if we know we've got people that are struggling with technology, the worst thing we can do is just say to toughen up, and this is happening and you're with us or you're against us, because they genuinely just need help changing. And you may have some people that can't change or won't change, but as a whole, most people with the right support and the understanding of why and understanding why you're making these decisions and what the benefits are, they will come on board. So culture is something that's super important. We need to focus on it, and it is part of these steps. And yeah, just make sure it's considered. And again, if you're working through the model of a tech plan, don't leave it out, because you can't just look at another organization and say they're doing it, let's copy it. Their culture will be different. So that's all for culture, and yeah, we'll touch on some more factors later on, and I'll chat to you next week when we move on to our next point. Thanks.